list. In the last light of day, the old bull moves with deliberate grace, a titan shaped by decades of sun, drought, and dust.
Ivory has been called white gold, prized for its smoothness, its glow, its promise of permanence. Every piece on these shelves once grew in a living giant. Tusk by tusk, the great herds were carved away. Today, each artifact carries a...
Each curve, each line, was coaxed from the tooth of a giant. Elephants once carried these pieces within them, long before a carver's hand transformed the ivory into a story, a monk in quiet meditation, an elephant that bears a rider.
Rich, look closely. Those fine, waving lines are growth rings, tree-like records laid down year after year inside a living tusk. Each hairline crack, each speck of golden tint formed as the ivory dried and aged. Up close, it feels almost like a top of...
Beneath your fingers, they feel cool, almost like stone. But these keys were once alive, shaped from elephant ivory, carved by hand a century ago. Every line, every tiny crack is a record of...
Carved from ivory long before we measured time in megabytes, each piece carries the patience of a century. Towers crenellated like miniature fortresses, knights with windswept manes, a king whose lattice crown catches even the smallest. Carved from a single piece of ivory, every curve polished to a satin glow. These pieces hold centuries of tradition in their grain, from lotus pendants to featherlight earrings, from protective elephants to the timeless ring of a bangle. Each work is a study in patience, precision, and quality.
In courts that shaped kingdoms, power rested not only in words, but in what was held. Lions, rams, suns, and worlds, carved from pale tusk, crowned in gold and brass. These canes and scepters were more than support. They were declarations, carried from...
Each tap of tool against tusk carries centuries of knowledge. The ivory yields in curling ribbons, revealing a flower that wasn't there an hour ago. Slow work, guided by steady hands, patience, and light. In the quiet of the workshop...
Carved from once living tusk, these artifacts carry the patience of centuries. A miniature pagoda, no taller than a teacup. A knight poised for battle on a board of kings. A rabbit curled in eternal rest, its fur captured in a flick of the chisel.
Centuries of craftsmanship line this single wall. Ivory transformed from raw tusk to stories frozen in bone. Every piece is a puzzle of patience. Dragons coiling along a moon-white arc. Saints the size...
He carries the weight of seasons in every step, scars of drought, triumph, and survival etched into his hide. Yet in the hush of morning, strength moves with a strange tenderness. Each footfall stirs the earth, and each breath invites the herd to follow toward water.
Ivory trade banned. Across the world, the message is clear. From bronze plaques by forest trails to rain-speckled posters on city walls, from market entrances to airport gates and savannas where elephants still roam, the ivory trade is banned.
Maps and ledgers traced its roots. Carved tusks showed its craft. Crates marked Ivory, left East African ports, bound for counting houses and drawing rooms. Balanced scales weighted. Pianos and billiard halls plated. Scrimshaw, stamps, dice. Every object.
For centuries, artisans shaped ivory by hand, beautiful but born of loss. Today, the same luster arrives from chemistry and ingenuity. Polymer chains mimic the intricate grain, pigments swirl to echo nature, and every key, bead, or carving begins life on a...
In workshops like this one, the sound of the lathe has replaced the hush of a carving bench. Beneath the steel jaws spins not ivory, but a lab-grown twin built from plant oils and recycled calcium. It cuts and curls the way the old tusk did, yet no elephant paid the price.
Beneath the blade, fibers give way just like the real thing. It carves clean, holds detail, and catches the light with a warm, natural glow. But no elephant was harmed to make it. Synthetic ivory, the texture of tradition, ethically. What looks like ivory is anything but. These pieces are formed from plant-based resins, tagua nut, and reclaimed bone. Materials shaped to mimic the creamy glow of ivory without any harm to elephants. Rings.
Archer. These keys look and feel like ivory, but they're built for a different future. Plant-based polymers, precision, milled to mimic the grain and grip pianists love. From keyboards to violin fingerboards, the new materials honor tradition without the toll on wildlife.
For centuries, ivory was the material of choice for objects of beauty and skill, but every piece carried a price paid by elephants. Today, designers have better options. Plant-based resins, recycled polymers, high-tech composites, materials that feel, look, and even sound just as good.
Carved from tusks once carried through forests and savannas, these objects tell stories of artistry, devotion, and desire. Each curve records the patience of a hand and the weight of a life. Visitors stand a respectful arm's length away.
We reach because we're curious, because something ancient or delicate or brilliantly alive pulls us toward it. But just before the surface, we hesitate. A whisper of glass reminds us where wonder ends and restraint begins. In that breath of distance, our
country. Once prized for its glow and the patience it took to carve, ivory bears stories of art, power, and loss. These pieces were shaped by steady hands centuries apart, yet they share the same quiet shimmer, the same weight of history. As the light saw
across the savannah, a family of giants moves as one. Their steps are slow, deliberate, and full of quiet strength. At the heart of the procession, the calf keeps pace, protected on every side, learning the rhythm of the plains. They share water, share shade, and share the road.
Every line in this hide tells a story written slowly by sun, wind, and time. The skin is thicker than a car tire, yet it folds like heavy cloth, trapping moisture and shielding the giant from heat. The tusk, worn by decades of use, smooth where it rubs against branches, etched where grit once.
At the close of day, the savannah exhales its heat into a calming stillness. Here, near the mirrored skin of a shallow waterhole, elephants arrive like moving monuments. Every step sends rings across the glassy surface, every breath stirs the golden air. Adults drink with practice.
The strength of giants, carved by time. Today, their story continues without taking a single tusk. Crafted from lab-made ivory, each piece carries the look, the feel, the legacy, without the loss. Beauty that protects the wild. That is real luxury.
Even. Here, ethical manufacturing isn't a slogan. It's the operating system. Renewable power drives the line. Plant-based resins and recycled fiber roll in, and precision robotics shape them with zero waste. Every tray is treated.
In the hush of this hall, the stories we tell ourselves about worth and memory hover above an unmarked plinth. Nothing rests here now, and that absence speaks louder than any relic. Light drifts down like an invitation, part promise, part question, waiting for...
In the final light of day, the savannah glows like a brass lantern. The herd moves on, steady and certain, their great shadows stretching behind them. Each step presses a story into the earth, of ancient paths, of seasons endured, of a bond older than memory.
You can see a lifetime in this eye, lines written by sun and dust, memories held in the glint of amber. Even in a creature this vast, every blink is gentle, like the earth breathing. We share the moment, and it holds.
For centuries, their tusks were taken. Now we can choose differently. Crafted from plants, from lab-grown materials, from imagination. Beauty without harm. The world doesn't need ivory. It needs elephants.